Good. Okay, back in session. We have two ordinances. One was added, which is the salary ordinance, and we have the ordinance to adopt and enact the renumbering of the codified ordinances. Do we have any discussion on those two ordinances? Seeing none. We have resolutions, and there's one resolution being added for the Toll Brothers authorizing the temporary waiver of noise ordinance for work on completed property. That's being added here as well. Any discussion on these ordinances?
I
Mr.
just
Cannon?
wanted to draw council's attention to the sledge hauling contract. If you go through the backup memo, the numbers at first seem kind of jumbled and confused, whether it's .0438 cents per gallon or .03. Running the analysis, it's a change for us in that we're going to be hauling our material down to Parsippany rather than Passaic Valley. And it's a marginal savings, but it's going to be better service for us. And I just want to commend. I thought Mike Lotta had helped out in this, and he did a very good job in assisting through the bid preparation and the technical specs.
Thank you. Anything else on ordinances? Seeing none, any old business? Seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, anyone from the public wish to be heard? Please just go up to the mic, state your name and address for the record, please. Right over there, yeah.
Hi, my name's Robert Miller. I'm an employee of Toll Brothers. I'm here tonight because of the ordinance that you're voting on. I wanted to make a clarification. This resolution references the Clover Hill wastewater treatment plant. That is part of the larger project, the Regency at Flanders project, which is what this was for tonight. We're looking for allowance to work the next two Saturdays at the Regency at Flanders community, not at the Clover Hill treatment plant. Just want to make that clear to you.
Okay, Mr. Kenny?
I'll apologize for that one. It came in so late in the day, we had run off the template.
That's fine.
From the
Yep.
prior resolution. And understanding it's part of the Regency, but it was late in coming, and that's my oversight.
If it helps, I made some copies of the plans and stuff so you can see the area that we're talking about. There's 10 copies here. You're welcome to them if you'd like them.
I'll make one.
Thank you. Do we need to amend it right
I have a question for you. Let me go back up.
Thank you. Yeah, you want us to pass them down?
Yeah, why don't you take
Yeah.
that? Joe, I have a question.
Sean? Yes, Sean, I'm sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah, Mayor.
I just had one question.
Yes, sir.
When this came across, I didn't generally have a problem with you guys doing this based upon the representations that you made. I assume that the work is going to be done during the normal working hours, however, on Saturday. So it's what, 7 a.m. to
6 p.m.?
6 p.m.?
Whatever those hours are, yes,
Okay,
we'll
that's all I
comply
wanted
to
to
those
make sure.
hours.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion on the resolutions? I mean, yeah, on that one, I'm sorry, new business. Any other new business? Seeing none, oh, go ahead. You can go up, state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Dorothy Tull, and I'm the president of the Seniors Club here in Mount Olive Township. I live at 21 Village Green, Bud Lake. I just wanted to firm up with you, gentlemen and ladies, the bocce ball tournament. That's my first on the agenda now. So far, we've have 5 people who can come on October the 10th. Now we need some commitments from a few others because we need at least 8. We can always have more because we can interchange people. But can I have a few more names who would like to go?
Who do we have already from here that we know, who committed?
I have Mr.
we're here.
Castro.
Yeah. Mr.
1, 2, 3.
Alex?
What
Mr.
time is it
Mania
at?
and Colleen, that's 6
9
people.
a.m.? Okay.
I have, and the mayor, I have 6 people altogether so far. Lost my list.
We need 2
And I
more?
need at least 2 more. So is any other 2 gentlemen or ladies who would like to come and play bocce ball on a Saturday morning? October the 10th. We give you a free breakfast. We have bagels and cream cheese and butter and jam and and that kind of
think
stuff,
it's
and
a
coffee and tea
They
to
fatten
begin
you up
with.
and then they
Nothing,
beat you.
nothing in life is free.
That's right. I'm sure we can find 2 other people.
Yeah, we could,
We
maybe
could come
some
up with 2.
department heads.
Yeah, we can find 2 other people,
You
I'm
can
sure.
find 2 other people?
Yeah.
Okay,
Or
so
a
that's
camera
the date,
operator.
October the 10th, anytime after 9. It depends how long you want to have to digest your bagel before we start play at 10 o'clock.
Hopefully it'll rain.
We've been known to play in the rain.
Hopefully it'll snow.
No, we don't play in the snow. The second point, thank you, gentlemen and ladies. The second point I'd like to make is there's been some discussion about our bus, the new bus which we've got. And I think this is wonderful. I'm so pleased that you have got us this new bus. And I understand there's another one coming. Now, I don't know if that's a bigger or a smaller one. I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, I'd like to give a little justification for these buses, because I don't think you will realize how much they are used. They take people from Bud Lake area and Mount Olive Township to grocery stores 1 day a week. They also then take Chester people another day. So that's another day that they're used for that. Now, we also do nutrition runs for Mount Olive. 3 days a week they bring people to nutrition lunches and back. They also do it for Chester the other 2 days. They also do the senior meetings for here, over in the senior building twice a month. And they do other things for Chester as well as for us. And as I understand it right now, the ruling is that the buses can only take people who cannot drive. Now, a lot of our elderly citizens can still just about drive. And they want to keep their licenses and their cars, obviously, for as long as they can. But they really would be much better going on a bus. We really don't want them driving too much around. It would be safer for everybody if they can use the bus. And if all of us can use the bus at special times to take us different places, that would make much more use of the bus. I mean, I've had 2 complaints actually about that they want more handicap parking spaces because there isn't enough for them. Well, if they could ride the bus, we wouldn't need more handicap parking spaces. And that, as you know, it takes up a lot of room. The rest of us say, oh, there's all the handicap parking spaces and we can't park close to the hall. So anyway, if you could change that ruling that only people who cannot drive can ride on the bus, it would help a lot.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
It's actually excellent timing. We just had a meeting on this a week and a half ago. Lisa, Trevor, our new health officer, and one of the drivers. We're actually rolling out a new program, and I know we're going to start heading over to the senior meetings to roll it out. Starting October, we want to increase the ridership because we invested in the new buses, in the smaller van and the larger passenger bus. And I know one of the ideas we've come up with, and we're going to start marketing it, I believe in about 3 weeks, is on Tuesdays we had identified as just a low ridership day. We want to provide the bus opportunities, and it doesn't just have to be people that don't drive. It's just
Good.
basically going to be a first come, first serve type of basis, but we want to start taking more shopping trips in addition to just groceries on Thursdays. We want to hit the ITC. We want to be able to go down to the streets of Chester, Hackettstown, and we're actually toying with the idea of perhaps during the Christmas season, much as Parsippany does with their transport, where maybe we go to Rockaway Mall one of the days. So
They would love that.
As council will remember, our ridership was down. We also took some action based upon that in this year's budget. We're looking now that we have the new equipment, we've got the investment, we're looking to get that ridership up, and then into the 2016 budget, we'll reassess as to where we're at with the drivers. I think it's going to be very well received. I know Lisa's heading the marketing effort on this, and I want to commend Trevor Weigel, our new health officer. He's very enthusiastic about it. So you're going to be hearing about that. We're going to be over by your meetings, probably the first Tuesday meeting in October. I believe that should be like October 6th or thereabouts.
Thereabouts, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so that's the plan. We just had this meeting about a week and a half ago.
Great, thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you
Laybaugh,
very
have
much,
anything you wanted to
gentlemen.
add?
Yes, I just wanted to add, I remember when I used to volunteer for the Meals on Wheels when I was chair of the Board of Health, there was one lady, she's since passed away, but she wasn't allowed to get Meals on Wheels because she still had her driver's license. And I'm over here, it sounds like it's coming from the back. What's her name again? Oh, anyway, they, look this way, over here.
Oh,
It
It
echoes.
sounds, it echoes,
echo.
but I'm here.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just wanted you to know. Everybody does that. But anyway, so it turned out when I was doing the Meals on Wheels, found out that the staff for the Meals on Wheels in the county, there was this one lady, she wasn't on the list because she still had her driver's license, she still had her car, but that was because she wanted her relatives to use her car to bring her to the doctor. She was very ill, and she could drive, but she really couldn't drive. So the workers would sort of like on the side bring the meal to her, but she wasn't like technically on. I thought that was like really terrible that, and we went to somebody right across the street, and thank God with Frank Wilpert, we were able to make a change, and I was able to add her back on the list for Meals on Wheels. So I don't know, I would have to be the Board of Health, I guess, if there was going to be a change made in terms of the criteria. Is that correct, Sean? Because sometimes it just isn't cut and dry. Just because they have a car and a driver's license doesn't mean.
As far as shopping trips, we're free to amend that policy anytime we want. And Trevor's on board with it. Trevor's doing an excellent job. It's his policy, and I'm sure he's going to
Right.
brief the Board of Health as to what he's doing. As far as the shopping trips, I think there's such a demand for that currently.
Right.
It's very difficult to figure out, okay, who do we include and who do we exclude? But that's something I'll bring up with him, and I think.
So
it's
first
explored.
come, first served, probably.
For the
is fair
shopping
that.
trips, as of now, yeah, I think we'll revisit the grocery trips, and because there is so much capacity.
Yeah.
So, maybe we run several a day, or shuttles. It's,
And
we'll
then-
have to find out what the facts are first.
And she was saying something about either a larger or a smaller vehicle. What are we getting?
Second, council would approve, we have the larger one out there right now.
Right,
That's
so we're getting a smaller.
25-passenger, dual handicap, full minibus. The next one is a passenger bus, about a 15-passenger van.
Okay.
And that's handicapped accessible as well, so.
And one
we have
last-
plenty of capacity between the two of them.
And one last question, what's our arrangement with Chester? Does that go in line with our Meals on Wheels? Because I know we
I
work
think
with
it's more
them.
than Meals on Wheels. I have to
Yeah.
run that one down.
Yeah, because
I
I
know
kn-
our bus, as far as the shopping, I track the Mount Olive. I don't see Chester on that, but that might be something with the Meals on Wheels.
Yeah, the Meals on Wheels, I remember because sometimes the meals would get delivered to Mount Olive, and Chester would come here and get it, and sometimes I'd have to go to Chester and
Yeah,
get them.
I think it's more
So
along
I
that
think that
program,
might.
not so much the shopping.
Okay, because I didn't know, I was going to say, is that something new we added on? But, all right, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Anything else? Anyone else?
We'll
Okay,
see you in a
Thank you
couple
very
weeks.
much. We'll see
Yes.
you on the 10th.
Terrific. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait.
Anyone else from the public? Seeing no one, close to the public. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, I open up the Mount Olive Township Council meeting for September 8th. Michelle, would you read the Open Public Meetings Act, please?
According to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Daily Record. Notice has been posted in the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, and notices were sent to those requesting the same.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Here.
Mrs. Labow?
Here.
Mr. Mania?
Here.
Mr. Roman?
Here.
Mr. Stewart?
Here.
Mr. Ferrante?
Here.
Mr. Nacastro?
Here. Mr. Amianda, would you, make an approval for the minutes of the previous meeting?
Yes, Mr. President. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meetings of August 18, 2015, work session and public meeting.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? None? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Abstain.
Mrs. Labow?
Abstain?
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrante?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. We have 41 pieces of correspondence. Anything on those from anyone? Seeing none, we have 2 ordinances for first reading. The one you have in front of you that was added this evening, and, I forgot what I was gonna say. So let's see. The next item up is ordinance number 20-15, an ordinance to approve, adopt, and enact the renumbering of the codified ordinance for the Township of Mount Olive, County of Morris, State of New Jersey, and providing for the continuation of previous provisions and renumbering thereof. Mrs. Laybow?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that ordinance number 20-2015 be introduced by title and passed on first reading, and that a meeting be held on September 22nd, 2015, at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of second reading, and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law.
I'll second it.
I think I heard you. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Fronte?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Okay, we have consent resolutions. We have 5 plus 1 addition.
You have to do the other
Oh, I'm
ordinance?
sorry. We got one more. I
We got
forgot-
another ordinance.
Forgot to add that one. As the next item is ordinance number 21, ordinance of the Township of Mount Olive, amending ordinance number 18-2015, which established salaries for the mayor, council, department head, supervisory personnel, employees of the Township Clerk's office. Mr. Stewart?
I move that ordinance 21-2015 be introduced to title and pass for first reading, and that a meeting be held on September 22nd at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 204 Flanders Drakestown Road, Bud Lake, New Jersey, for a public hearing, consideration of the second reading and passage of said ordinance, and that the clerk be directed to publish, post, and make available said ordinance in accordance with the requirements of the law. Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Laybow?
Joe, excuse me, Mr. President, did you say 18-2015 when you asked Mr. Stewart? I know it's 21, but I thought he said 18.
If I said 18, I corrected
Yeah,
ordinance
I
number
just wanted- thank you.
21-15 in the event I did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Fronte?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. We have 5 resolutions here and one that we were adding. Resolution for the noise ordinance for Toll Brothers.
I would just add that for that latter resolution, it would just be amended to say in the first whereas clause, Toll Brothers is currently completing modifications at the Regency of Flanders development, and then in the now therefore be a resolved clause where it says at the Clover Hill wastewater treatment plant, it would be amended to say at the Regency of Flanders development.
Thank you. Do we have any, where am I on that? We have any, anybody need anything to non-consent already? Seeing none. Anyone from the public wish to be heard on those? Seeing none. Close to the public. Any discussion on resolutions? Seeing none. Mr. Bania, would you move 1 through 6?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for approval of consent resolutions 1 through 6.
Second?
Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Fronte?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro?
Yes. Mr. Roman, would you please move the bill list?
I'd like to move for approval the bill list.
Second?
Any discussion? None, roll call, please.
Mr. Amianda?
Yes.
Mrs. Laybow?
Yes.
Mr. Mania?
Yes.
Mr. Roman?
Yes.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes.
Mr. Fronte?
Yes.
Mr. Nacastro? Mr. Nacastro?
Yes, abstain on check number 70697, yes on all others.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administrative reports.
I have a couple things. First of all, happy birthday to Councilman Roman.
Yay.
It hurts being 30.
The Lord be with you.
We had a great turnout at the
Again.
Food Truck and Fireworks Festival. My understanding is that there were over 10,000 people who attended the event.
But only 9,000 empanadas, so that's a complaint I'd like lodged.
Right, I heard.
Please join Council President Joe Nacastro September 11th at 8:15 a.m. for a brief ceremony at the 9/11 Memorial. I will be away on township business, so will not be able to attend. Recreation event next Saturday, Recreation's next event is Saturday, September 26, 2015, Starry Skies Festival, wine and craft beer, hors d'oeuvres, and live music. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $25 on site from 4 to 10. I'd also like to thank Wise Markets, who will be providing a donation for our food pantry as a sponsor. And congratulations to Mr. Stewart, who was in contention at his golf club, the old group. Not the old group, just the old group.
Just the old group.
Until he hit a tree.
Twice.
Thank you. Anything, Mr. Canning?
Yeah, just a couple things. The Houday Bridge is in place. Speaking to my counterpart in Stanhope today, very satisfied with it. The Stanhope Environmental Committee is gonna blaze the rest of the trail up to, linking up to the Givaudan Rail Trail, and we'll help out if requested. But from our side, Frank Wolford Jr. was overseeing the effort on our side, and if you get a chance to go up there, it's off of 183. It's approaching almost the old Gatewatcher's house and at the rail trail down the hill from there, and it's a nice looking bridge. It was paid for by the National Recreation Trails Grant, which Kathy Murphy was able to get back in 2011, 2012. So we're going to close that out and look for reimbursement, but it's a nice job. And Gene Brzezinski did a nice job on the design of that as well. Two other things for the next council meeting. Two promises are coming in. One is the recreation plan for Turkey Brook from the advisory committee, and Jill, I'm going to ask her to come and at least present a long-term vision as to what's going to happen in Turkey Brook. That council had been asked that question, I think, back in April. We had spoken about that. And second is the long-awaited paving and road survey plan. Both Mr. Quinn and Mr. Wolford Jr. will be here to present that. So that'll be on the 22nd.
Very good. Any old business? Any new business? Mrs. Labo.
Actually, old business,
Old business.
a question from Mr. Canning on the road. Are we going to get a preview on what they're going to discuss in case we have any further questions so they can have everything ready, or?
Yes, I've asked for a copy of the plan for ahead of time. I anticipate it'll be in the packet. That's been
Okay.
my direction.
Yeah, because I'd rather that they, instead of saying, oh, we'll get back to you on it, if they possibly can, just to,
I agree wholeheartedly.
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Manning?
Just a quick question on that 57 acres where the state is trying to embezzle $587,000. Does the administration need anything from the council, and what is our plan of action?
After receiving the state's response, I told the state that we weren't interested. And so we are just going to leave the property for the time being and ultimately sell the property with the restriction on it and let the developer ultimately deal with the state in terms of taking care of whatever the state's position is.
Well, with the restriction on that, we're gonna get a lot less money for the property, there's no
Well,
question.
We'll probably get $500,000 less, but we're
Still
not
be
gonna
ahead.
come out of pocket $500,000. I mean, it's pretty clear what the state is looking for, and there's really nothing we can do about it. We're still going to see significantly greater return on our investment than had we done nothing at the time that the property became
Is there an
available.
appeal process? Can we talk to our legislators?
We never went far enough down the process to actually appeal anything. I don't think speaking to our legislators at this point makes any sense whatsoever, and for the time being, we've just put it on the back burner. Until the entirety of the development on that side of town, which is something that I've been working on and something which I am traveling for the rest of this week, comes a little bit more into focus, we don't really have to take any position. We can just sit back at this point.
If I can add one thing.
Yeah.
If I could add one thing, we have two certified appraisal reports on that parcel, and the appraised value is far in excess of what we paid for. So it's already a huge asset to the township, with or without those restrictions.
Yes, and let's not forget that when we took title to the property, it was by way of settlement of a tax appeal, which we would have paid out the same amount of money and not gotten the property. The difference being is that we made the decision at the time to buy it with general revenue dollars rather than Green Acres dollars, because we recognized that at some point that property was going to become very valuable to the township in one of several ways. If we had bought it with Green Acres dollars, we never would have been able to develop the property. So we have a great luxury of being able to sit on the property, of being able to negotiate with the state at any time that we see fit to negotiate with the state or not. But we're still in an excellent position. The story that ran in the Chronicle really didn't tell the whole story in terms of where we are. You know, sometimes people who write newspapers like to glorify their story by making it sound like, you know what, the township's in a bad position. I can tell you, from a personal perspective, it's not much different than John's position, is that the state really is taking an unreasonable position. And it further really hardens my position that for us as a township to get anything accomplished, it becomes incredibly more difficult because of the state of New Jersey is working against us. And I know that I'm not speaking in any different fashion than all of the other municipalities that have to deal with the state. They're not, in many ways, they're not working with us, they're working against us. It's unfortunate. You know, if you want to say something to our legislators, I just haven't found that to be particularly beneficial to.
Well, I could certainly mention it to Senator Orho.
Yeah, I don't think it's.
It may go on deaf ears, but
Yep.
nothing ventured, nothing gained.
No matter what it said in the newspaper, we're in a great position with respect to that property. And it can be developed without removing the restrictions as Class A office space, which is kind of the ludicrous thing about it, because it's not going to remain as a pristine piece of property. It's going to get developed in one way or another, and if it gets developed as Class A office space, the state gets nothing.
Really silly.
Makes
Thank
no
you.
sense whatsoever.
Any other old business? Any new business? Mr. Sean, on the one thing I had mentioned to you at one of the meetings we were in about I wanted to find out about getting a few post office boxes. I just wanted to update you. I mean, mailboxes. I had asked Sean about, I saw it in some of the towns, getting just a few mailboxes and paint them red, white, and blue for flag where we can dump flags, put flags in, where we can bring them. Because like myself, I have all these flags sitting in my house, don't know really where to bring them. There's the depositories they have set up with towns with mailboxes. I called the post office to find out about of getting those mailboxes, but they stopped giving those out because of the terror threats. They're worried people will take them, make them look like mailboxes, and then drop bombs and stuff in them and leave them. So they don't want to be responsible to give them out to make them up. So I did have a couple of links I'll share with you on some other opportunities.
From that conversation, I was waiting for that, but we'll start on our own, and I'll work with Lisa. We're going to reach out to the VFWs, the American Legions.
Right.
They're very active and care very much about that. So we'll come up with a solution. Because
Yeah, that'd be great.
There's a lot of people that, it's inappropriate to throw, it's illegal to
Right,
throw a flag
and
out.
they'd be sitting in my
And
garage
it has to be,
folded.
yeah, it has to be disposed of properly. The Eagle Scouts are very
Right.
involved with the ceremonial burn, so we'll get a solution.
Yeah, that would be great. Appreciate it. Thank you.
On that note, I thought we were going to look into building a flag burning vault or type of a thing at Turkey Brook. Are
Yeah,
we
that's still in the works.
That's still in the works?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a couple initiatives up there. One is the flag burning vault, the other one is the dog memorial. Matter of fact, Jim Lynch just briefed, we had our meeting this afternoon. The next order of business is a war dog memorial part of that, but the flag burning, it's a long process, and during the summer, our
Yeah,
public grounds people
right.
do nothing other than just, our tournaments and events. So we're back on the proactive stage again. So that'll be coming. I just, can't tell you when.
So if there was another scout had contacted me, he was looking for a project, perhaps that might be something
That would speed up the process.
he would be interested in. Yeah, I'll bring it up to him.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other new business? Any legal matters?
Nothing to report tonight, Council President.
Thank you. Council reports, Mr. Amiand, anything from Board of Ed?
No report.
Mr. Ferranti, anything environmental, lake, or library?
Nothing.
Ms. Labow, seniors, economic, TNR?
Well, with seniors, we just heard tonight our bocce
Correct.
ball tournament, which is really nice. TNR is looking to plan their next yard sale for October for fundraising. And Economic Development Committee, we have not met. We're-
There's a meeting coming up, Jeff sent out, I think there's something coming up next Monday at the Morris County. He's doing a presentation.
Oh, that one, yeah, I
Of some
couldn't make
sort.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
But
probably
not-
end up going with him just to be there, but
Yeah.
he's doing a presentation. They wanted each town to do something.
But not on the
Hopefully.
local, we haven't had our,
Right, we haven't had, right, here in a while.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Stewart, anything on MOTV?
Nothing new in that.
Mr. Roman, Open Space, Recreation, Board, that's it.
Nothing on open space. Recreation met last week. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend. I'm waiting on the minutes from those meetings. And that's it.
Thank you. Health Department meets September 16th, here at 6:30. Mr. Mania, Legislative or Planning?
Nothing.
Thank you. Anyone from the public wish to be heard? Seeing none, closed to the public. Council comments, anyone? Mr. Amianta, go right down the line.
I missed the swearing in of Mr. Greg Stewart into office. I take this opportunity to welcome Mr. Stewart to the council.
Thank you.
Secondly, I wanted to go back to some of our old issues we had here. It was to do with the overcrowding in our private houses and public housing in town. Now, I have been investigating this issue, and I came to these conclusions. I may be wrong. Now, ordinance governing of overcrowding in private and public housing is hard to enforce and must be revised for public good. The council discussed this issue before, but we still have families of 6, 8, 9, or 10 occupying an apartment with 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms and only 1 bathroom and toilet. This information was gathered by consulting with the four public complexes we have in town. The problem is lack of tenant and landlord leases and lack of enforcement of the ordinance itself. Now, it is, as I spoke to some of these tenants, this is what they said. It is not fair for tenants who complain of overcrowding in those complex apartments to be told by officials that, and I quote, "We discussed the issue. The ordinance is difficult to enforce because those people do not have a place to go. Overcrowding is difficult to control." And that's the end of the quote from the responses that these people had received. Now, overcrowding puts pressure on our schools and on taxpayers. And that's what we should bear in mind and try to see if we can come up with a solution to why the ordinance we have on the books is not being enforced.
Okay. Ms. Leba?
I have a question. What ordinance are you talking about? Because I tried to have a stacking ordinance enacted several years ago, but it didn't go through. I don't know that we have an ordinance on the books. What
We
one?
just did.
We have,
We just adopted one.
oh,
we just
we did
adopted
get,
it.
all right, I missed it.
Yeah.
I was out. So what is it doing, that ordinance?
It's a space and occupancy ordinance and essentially sets the minimum square footage for bedrooms and the number of bedrooms in apartments.
No more than 2 people in any house.
In any house?
Yeah.
I'm in trouble then, my house.
Right.
I have a little teeny tiny house.
Ordinance,
800 square feet, no, 900.
The key was, we were approached by the Board of Education at the end of the school year last year about a problem that they're having with known situations of people who are living and not actually living in town, but bringing their
Right,
kids up and using our school system. we didn't have an ordinance in place that we could adequately enforce the stacking situation. We have since adopted that ordinance, so now that we can go about and apply the new ordinance that we have to aid the school board in terms of the stacking situation.
And what's the procedure on that? How are we doing that?
I don't know what the procedure is. The ordinance was just adopted, so, but it'll allow the health department now to adequately,
So it goes through the health department
I
then?
believe it's through the health.
Yeah,
I
'cause
believe we
that's-
did discuss that somewhere.
Yeah, I
Came
think
up
it
in
has to go through the health
earlier
department.
meetings. Right,
Yes.
but we don't meet again until September, so.
Okay, so, all right, so that's good. And that's only for the apartments, not,
No, that, no, it was for, the ordinance, if I recall, regarded living space, per person, how much living space you're required to have, so it didn't just cover,
It's all residential housing.
all residential housing.
so if somebody owns their house, they.
You cannot have 27 people, that's why I moved out of my house.
There's 28 in his.
He left the 26 behind.
That's interesting. All right, so that's how that's, and,
Yep.
but, so the enforcement's going to go from the health department, you're going to discuss it
I
at the
believe so. I
next
remember
Board
a
of,
discussion of that already.
Board of Health
If
meeting,
I
so
do
we'll
recall, I
find
don't
out.
think it had so much teeth in that ordinance.
Well, that could, I think that's what Daniel's, why he's bringing it up. It's like, so what happens with it
Well,
next?
When we get through the health
well,
department, we'll see.
Honestly, this is something that we should revisit in a workshop session.
Right,
Uh,
agreed.
And definitely, so I would
After the
recommend
next,
that, you know, that it we would bring it up for discussion at the next available meeting.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
have our
af-
meeting on the 16th.
on the
I can find out
16th.
more from the health side, and then we can
and then we'll
bring
do
it
it.
up here on the 22nd if we want to put it on the agenda for the 22nd.
Can we do that? Yeah, so we
We can
find
do that.
out
Yeah.
exactly
So you
what's
want to
going.
discuss the stacking ordinance on the 22nd?
Yeah, that's fine, to discuss that.
Michelle, if you would, could you send Colleen a copy of the stacking ordinance by email?
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah,
that
it's up
one.
to everybody.
I'll send it to
Yeah,
everyone.
we all get it again, just in case.
Yeah,
All right, good. Thank you,
Thank
Daniel.
you.
And you said the meeting's on the 16th?
We have the Board of Health as the 16th, yeah. then we'll have that.
and, yeah, because I'll have a question, because I'm
Yeah.
trying to think, how is it legal to tell somebody how many people they can have living in their house if they own their house?
There's a lot of stuff to tell people.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
the way it is.
You can have
Anything
40
else?
people
Did
in a
you, any
two-bedroom
comments,
house.
Ms. Any other comments?
I just want to say happy birthday to Mr. Roman, you're almost half a century.
No lies,
Wow.
30 years old.
1970 you were
Mr.
born.
Mania, any comment? Anything?
Yes, I just want to thank the Board of Health for the closing down of the massage parlor.
Yeah, but they didn't get all of them.
We didn't do all of them.
No, you didn't get
No,
all of
There
them.
wasn't enough.
You still have a few
Wasn't
more.
enough.
And I too want to wish Alex a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Mr. Roman, do you want to wish yourself a happy birthday?
I just want to add that these 29 years I've been alive have been very painstaking.
He's celebrating the
Actually, no,
16th anniversary of his 29th
That's
birthday.
it. It's going to be 29 for the third time. No, thank you everybody for the well wishes, and I got nothing else to add. Thank you.
Mr. Stewart?
My only comment is that is a rough 29 years he's had.
Mr. Ferrante?
Nothing.
I'm not going to wish him a happy birthday anyway. Wait till next one, since everybody already wished you one. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Done.